And so it's really just about finding out, your setup, your playing setup, how you play, what do you like playing, um, and yeah, how you feel your rosin's going for you. So, where are you based? Are you in Sydney or you're in
Yeah,
Australia?
I'm based in Croydon.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, in a way.
fantastic.
So yeah, yeah. So I mean, what I'm using at the moment for rosin is the Lyrica Gold 4,
Yep. Okay.
and I'm finding I'm not sure if it's just because it's just such a maybe it's a sticky rosin or something, but as I draw the bow across the string, I just get this rustling, and I hardly, rosin the bow. I probably rosin it probably maybe once every week and a half, and I'm playing every day. I'm playing for about an hour and a half every day, and I'm still hearing that sort of rustle. It's like this extra like noise, like this hissing noise as I draw the bow across the string.
Yeah, I wanted to explore with you really what that sound is. Now, obviously, there's very little chance I can actually hear that clearly through this medium, but that's kind of not the point. It's kind of to just, well, maybe hear it, but also just gauge, even from your body language, kind of, what's going on, or just get a sense. Um, so it's kind of it's sort of a hissing sound. Does the sound come with a particular texture or feeling?
Mm, it's just it's. I think it's more on the lower strings, so you can hear it more on the C and the G.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
the feeling. I don't think it comes with a feeling. I can just. I mean, it's almost as though it's quite maybe it's slow to respond when I'm trying to the contact from the bow to the string. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
maybe I don't know if there's too much or if there's a build up on my bow. I mean, this bow is how old is this bow? I mean, this bow was made in 1960s, but I bought it last year. I think it was. It's a
Okay.
German-made bow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm using Larsen soloist on the A and the D, Spyrocore on the G, and a Larsen Magnacore on the C.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's
Um,
a pretty sort of popular combo, isn't it? Larson's on the upper two and Spiracores and stuff. Yeah. I'm amazed that you rosin once a week.
I only rosin once a week because if I rosin too much, then I get this. It's really bad if I put more rosin on.
Yeah.
Like I just don't even use it hardly. It's just I can't. It really bugs me this hissing sound. So I hardly use rosin.
Yeah, because my I guess my initial thought would be what we found in our trial community at least is that too much rosin on the string, particularly for violin, viola, cello, because the rosins tend to be more powdery than sort of gluggy or sticky like a bass rosin. Too much on the hair gets a gritty, sandy kind of feel, and obviously you've got a lot of powder and a lot of residue left on the strings, and that creates that sort of surface noisy type hissy sound. And so we're usually saying, all right, yeah, pull some off, clean the strings, wipe some off the bow, and then it's kind of fine. I actually did that myself. I just discovered the other day I'm an over rosiner, definitely.
I saw your video actually.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. So that was a revelation. And now I'm sort of trying to really be a minimalist rosiner now, just use the bare minimum. And it's a different feeling, and it has a much smoother, glidey kind of feeling. So, yeah. Do you want to just play something like a scale or just something easy?
Yeah.
And just let me see what I can hear.
I can play, like a C major scale, and so you can actually hear. I mean, at the moment, when was the last time I was in? Oh, I reckon I probably would have put a couple of strokes on Friday night because I had like a practice performance. I'm preparing for my diploma.
Yep.
I'm in music performance with the
Yep.
So I'm sort of doing some like performances like leading up. So
Yeah.
I put a couple of strokes on because I was like, oh, I haven't rosined in over a week. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to rosin too much because I've got that horrible hissing sound. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
literally like just did a couple and that was it. And it seemed to be okay. So that was the last time I rosin. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I'll play
Yeah, cool,
C major
cool.
scale to start off with anyway.
Yep.
Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear
Okay, do a D string.
That's the G string.
Yep. Okay, do a
I don't
G.
hear it.
Sorry?
My G, back to my G?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you getting the sound there?
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't quite say I can hear it, but what I can pick up is that the D is resonating better. Maybe the G sounds a little bit more raspy somehow. Like it's not quite connecting with the string.
Yeah. I am connecting with the string, but I also have a wolf eliminator.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a terrible wolf note on the F sharp, and I still haven't eliminated it. I may need to get it looked at, but
yeah. Well, do a C string. Do a C string, a couple of C strings. And do once more D. Sorry. Yeah. Was it there on the C that time?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I heard, now I don't know if this is it or not, but it was certainly different from D to C, and it was there on G as well. It kind of sounds, well, through Skype, it sounds a bit like a rattling, actually. Yeah. A sort of an overtony, a sound on top that, like almost like a buzzing or something.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't describe it as a rattle or a buzz, but it's certainly an extra tone on top of the note. Or yeah. So. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as far as our rosins go, so we have these two set recipes: the supple and the crisp. So the best, I'm sure you've read about them, but I guess the best way to describe it is the crisp has a very pingy, sharp attack at the beginning of the note. So like if you imagine beginning of Shostakovich concerto, for example, on the C string, it's going to work really well for that. But then when the bow's moving, it's a glassier, so there's kind of less in between bow and string. It's more like it's just bow and string, so it's a much cleaner kind of sound. Spiccato and sautier is generally spikier as well. It's funny because I use the word crisp because I don't think sticky is quite the right word. It's a different sort of feeling. The supple is a little bit different. So I think the supple has got enough attack at the beginning of the note, but it's a more malleable attack. So you kind of have to kind of wrap it around the string a bit more to get it going. Some people interpret that as it's not sticky enough. I'd like more, and we've had a few people get their supple with a little bit more attack ingredient in it to give it more ping at the beginning, which is fine too. But then the texture of the traction, so the ongoing feel on the string is very different with the supple. It's a more grainy, sandier feel, perhaps, a more like velour, maybe. Okay. But that's the one I love personally, and people who use that say it gives a different feeling of connection with the string. So it's more like I'm going to get a bit fluffy here, at one with the string almost. You've got a really tangible connection to it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what I love about it. The crisp gives a much less surface noise high up on higher notes. Mm-hmm. Supple has a little bit more surface noise there. But I don't think it's anything that gets in the way of anything beyond normal or reasonable. Is your cello quite a bright setup?
It is. It is bright because it's new. It's 2 years old. It's a Gasparo Chinese made cello.
Yeah.
It was made in 2014. So it is starting to mellow out a little bit more, but it's still got a way to go. Yeah, I just can't seem to get away from this. This buzzing. So,
Yeah, sure. Have you explored everything like, that it could be the string or the bridge or the tailpiece, all that sort of stuff?
Well, I've explored strings. I've tried Yaga. I've tried a spirochore on both the G and the C.
Yeah.
I haven't really changed the A and the D because I actually quite like the Larsons on the A and the D.
Yeah.
It's just been trying to experiment with the different strings on the lower string. But I've sort of settled on the spirochore and the magnacore, the Larson magnacore, because I feel that these have the most response.
Yeah.
I did have a G magnacore on there, and it just didn't seem to work as well. I haven't really looked into the bridge or they seem quite. It's not like they're in an unusual place or
wrong
place or anything like that, and it doesn't seem to be rattling anywhere.
No, because it's not a rattle or a buzz, is it? It's a hissing sound.
Exactly. It seems to be coming directly from the string. So. The only thing I probably need to I would think I need to get looked at is the warp note, which I think it needs a bit more work. So that's something that it's it's in the the timeline to get looked at. But
yeah, I know how annoying wolf notes are. Yeah. Okay, you know what I'm thinking. Given that you're in Sydney, you're really not that far away from me. We should possibly get together. I met Narek, the cellist who played with the SSO a couple of weeks ago. He played the Rococo Variations, the Armenian guy who won the Tchaikovsky competition a few years back. God, amazing cellist, my God. He tried supple and crisp. He definitely liked crisp. Then he wanted to try some sort of in-between bespoke blends. So I came back to Sydney with a sort of a 20 crisp with 20% supple with 20% crisp. So we had 4 to play around. He ended up going with the crisp. Interestingly, he had a modern Chinese cello that he described as a not really very good cello. It seemed that he was in between instruments, something like that. And he needed to really get as much projection out of it as he possibly could. You could actually try those 4 different Rosins.
Oh, okay.
Given that you're close, I could either post them down to you, or even because I've got them here from that visit with him, or we meet in Sydney somehow. I get down fairly regularly, so that could be possibly arranged. Because I'd be really interested to hear how it goes for you. I guess initially I'm thinking definitely try the crisp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
Yeah, and actually, see, part of me would say this too, though. Would say the opposite. Would say, given that you've got some pretty sort of powerful strings and a nice big bright cello, then actually you could really get away with the supple. That would be a good balance. Some people with really bright, powerful instruments find the crisp makes it a bit too pingy, actually, and they want to sort of tone it back a bit. The thing is, it's such an individual experience, I just cannot say. I wish I could say. In fact, one of my goals was to be able to say, for Bob, this worked, so therefore it will work for you. It's just not the case. It's such an individual thing. So, yeah. I guess I think you need to try both.
Okay.
So we'll meet in Sydney in a couple of weeks and try these out. There's absolutely no obligation to any of this. You don't have to buy. This is actually really interesting for me, but if we can solve your problem, well, that's awesome too. So, all right. Well, look, I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, and we'll try a few blends.
Right. Thank you very much, Andrew.